Hey everyone, what's going on? Today we're learning Daf Chaf Tes of Masech the Berachos. Some cool stuff today. What are the cool stuff that we talk about? We talk a little about, like where how Shmona Esrei, like the Berachos and Shmona Esrei, the Bracha of V'lam Shinim, where that one kind of came along. We talk a little bit about Tfilas Aderech. Tfilas Aderech comes up, which is kind of cool. Yeah, those are the notable kind of things today. Let's get started. Daf Chav Chesam Abayz at the bottom of the page, 2 lines from the bottom. Tana Rabbanan. The rabbis taught Shimon HaPakuli is there Shmona Esrei Berachos Lifnei Rabban Gamliel Ala Seder B'Yavne. Oh, so Shimon HaPakuli, I don't know what that is, but apparently it's called Shimon HaPakuli because he sold pakuli, which is cotton. Okay, he sold cotton. And he was the person, interestingly enough, I guess the Shemona Esrei that we pray can be, you could say thanks to him for it, which is interesting. No, it wasn't somebody we're familiar with per se. It was just this cotton merchant kind of created Shemona Esrei. Okay, so he organized the Shemona Esrei Berachos in front of Rabbi Gamliel in Yavne. Okay. So then Rabbi Gamliel said to them, and he used a very similar language over here as he used yesterday with Rabbi Yehoshua, right? When he says, "Klum yesh cholek b'davar hazeh," right? "Klum yesh adam cholek shecholek b'davar hazeh." Is there anybody who argues on this and uses that same kind of lashon over here? Like, is there anybody who can create this bracha of the Birkas Haminin, which I guess was a bracha that they enacted for? Now we've been defining from just the context that we've been picking up here in the Gemara. Minim as these early Christians, right? So I guess that they created this bracha for to pray that the early Christians should not succeed, I guess. So Amar Shmuel HaKatan v'tikna, and Shmuel HaKatan. So whereas the last time with Rabbi Yehoshua, when Rabbi Gamliel says Klum yesh adam shecholek b'davar hazeh, everyone was silent, nobody, right, not a peep in the room. Shmuel HaKatan was he stood up and rose to the occasion, which maybe says something about his confidence or bravery. I don't know why he was called Shmuel HaKatan. He's older than the Shmuel that comes up in our Gemara. The Shmuel that generally comes up in our Gemara is an Amora. This was a Tana. Anyways, L'shana Acheres Shachacha. And then, interestingly enough, I don't know if it's a year later or at some later point, Shimon HaKatan was like the Shliach Tzibor, and he forgot the bracha of V'lam Shinim. He just kind of got stuck. V'hishkipa shtayim v'shalosh shaos v'lo ha'elu, and they just waited for him. He was standing there for 3 hours as a shliach tzibor, and he could not remember this bracha, and they just waited. V'lo ha'elu, and they didn't remove him. Amai lo ha'elu, how come they didn't remove him? Ve'amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav ta'ah b'chol ha'brachos kulan ein ma'alin oso v'virkas haminin ma'alin oso. But didn't Rav Yehuda say in the name of Rav that on any of the brachos of the Shemona Esrei, if the Shliach Tzibor kind of makes a mistake or forgets the words or whatever it is, that's fine, no big deal. But specifically when it comes to this bracha of Birkas Haminin, we are very sensitive and we get nervous. Like, why is this guy, not saying it? Is he maybe a min? Has he maybe decided that Christianity was the way to go? So then we remove him. And interesting that it says that when we remove him, it refers to ma'alinoto, we raise him up. And I think that might be because they used to, as the Gemara said, mima amakim krasich Hashem, that you should praise, you call out to God from a lower place. So it could be that the Shliach Tzibor was lower down. So when you remove somebody, you actually, brought him back upstairs. Anyways, so, right, because Chashin and Shema Minu, right, so when it comes to Birkat Haminim, if he messes up, we're all of a sudden concerned, what's the deal? Is this guy a min? So Shanish Malakatan the Iu Tikna. So the Gemara says, yeah, but come on. Shmuel HaKatan's different, right? He's the one who wrote the bracha after all. But the Gemara says, but shouldn't we be concerned that even though once upon a time he wrote the bracha, maybe since then things have happened, and now he has seen the way of the minim, and it was attractive to him. Oh, so Abaye says that, but we've learned that somebody who's good won't become bad. Vilo, really? Somebody who's good won't become bad? V'aksiv. We even have a pasuk in Yechezkel that says, Uvshuv tzadik mitzid kaso v'asa avel. We even have psukim in Tanakh that talk about tzadikim who unfortunately end up doing bad stuff. So Ahu Rasha Meikara, Val Tzadik Meikaru Lo. So the Gemara says, yeah, but that is only somebody who is a Rasha Meikar, who was originally a Rasha, and then he became a Tzaddik, and then he goes back to being a Rasha. But a Tzaddik Meikar, like Shmuel HaKatan, we don't have to be concerned that he will become a Min. So therefore, they just waited for him. Vilo, really, a Tzaddik Meikar won't become a Rasha? Vatnan, al taimin ba'atzmcha yom moscha. Don't believe in yourself until the day that you die. Why? Shari Yochanan Kohen Gadol, Shimish Bekuna Gedola, Shmonim Shana, Ulevasof Naiset Tzeduki. Yochanan Kohen Gadol was a Kohen Gadol for 80 years. 80 years is a long time, right? That's a really long time. He was a Kohen Gadol for 80 years. That's pretty, must be his entire life, pretty much, right? And in the end, he became a Tzeduki. So there you go. You can have somebody who's a tzaddik. Mistami was a tzaddik meikar, and Mistami was always a tzaddik, and he became a tzeduki, right? So why shouldn't we be concerned that Shmuel HaKatan, even though he's a tzaddik meikar, maybe he became a min? So Amar Abaye hu Yanai hu Yochanan. Abaye says, well, not exactly. Yochanan Kohen Gadol was actually the same person as Yanai HaMelech. Yanai HaMelech, who of course killed all of the Chachamim, all of the Talmidei Chachamim. So basically, he was a Rasha Meikar who then became a Tzaddik and then became a Rasha again. So don't bring a proof from Yochanan Kohen Gadol. Rav Amar Yanai Lichud v'Yochanan Lichud. Rava says no. Yanai and Yochanan were two different people. Yanai Rasha Meikar v'Yochanan Tzaddik Meikar. Yanai was a Rasha Meikar, right? And then he became a Tzaddik. Then he reverted back to being a Rasha. Whereas Yochanan Kohen Gadol was a Tzaddik Meikar. So Hanicha Abaye. Okay, fine. So I get Abaye. I understand according to Abaye how Yochanan Kohen Gadol became a Rasha at the end and became a Tzeduki at the end because he was initially he's Yanai, and Yanai was a Rasha Meikara. Okay, so I get it. So then he became a Tzeduki at the end of his life. He reverted. El Rava Kasha, but according to Rava, who says that Yanai and Yochanan Kohen Gadol are two separate people, and Yochanan Kohen Gadol was Taka, a Tzaddik Meikara. So how could he, right? What about Tava Lo Avabisha, right? How did he become a Tzeduki in the end? Amalach Rava Tzaddik Meikara Nami Dilma Hadarbe. No, Rava says that actually a Tzaddik Meikara, even like Yochanan Kohen Gadol, can still become a Tzeduki. So Iachi Amailo Asku. Well, if that's the case, that a Tzaddik Meikaro can also become a Rasha, so then why did they wait so long for Shmuel HaKatan? Shouldn't they have been concerned that maybe he became a min? So Shani Shmuel HaKatan, the Askil Ba, Shmuel HaKatan was actually a little different. There was a detail of the story that we left out, which is that he had already started saying the bracha. The Amar Rav Yehuda Amarav, because the same Rav Yehuda Amarav who says that if you mess up in all of the brachos, it's okay, except for Birkat Haminim, he also says that once you start it, then it's okay, because the assumption being that if you were min, you would probably just try to quickly skip it or something like that. But once you start it, you clearly show that your intention is to say it and to say the blessing against the minim. So we can assume that you're not a min. V'item Rav Yeshua ben Levi. The Amar of Yehuda Amar Rav V'item Rav Yeshua ben Levi lo shanu ela shelo hischeba aval hischeba gomra. But once you start saying the bracha, you finish it. So here he had started it, and they just waited 2-3 hours for him to, I guess, remember the bracha. I don't know if he ended up remembering it. Maybe he did. Why didn't they just help him? I don't know. Maybe they didn't know. That could be. Okay. Hani Sheva de Shabbata Keneged Mi. So the 7 brachos that we say on Shabbos, what are they Keneged, right? We said that the Shmona Esrei are Keneged, either the Shemos Hashem and Havil Hashem B'nei Elim, or Kriyas Shema, or the spine. What are the 7 brachos that we say on Shabbos? What are they Keneged, right? Because of course, we say right, every Shmona Esrei, as far as I can tell, every Shmona Esrei always starts and ends the same way, right? With the first 3 brachos of Magen Avraham, Mechaya Mesim, and Hakel HaKadosh, and it ends with the last 3 brachos of Amach Zeshchinas L'Tzion, Hato Shimcha L'Chanei L'Odos, and Amvarech Zamri Saba Shalom. It's the middle brachos that change. So the 7 brachos of Shabbos, i.e. the 3 first ones, the 3 last ones, and the middle one of Mekadesh HaShabbos, what are those Keneged? So Amrav Chalafta Bar Shaul, Ben Shaul, okay? Interesting names of people, of these rabbis when it comes to the prayers. So seeing all these names that are not sort of standard names. So Chalafta ben Shaul says, Keneged Shiva Kolos Shamar David Alamayim. Oh, so he says it's Keneged, in that kapitel of Tehillim of Havil Hashem B'nei Elim, it says Kol Hashem Alamayim, Kol Shem here, all sorts of Kol Hashem Bakoach, Kol Hashem Bahadar, all that stuff. So connected those 7 kols, okay? Hanetesha de Rosh Hashanah connected me. The 9 blessings that we say in Musaf on Rosh Hashanah, right? So the first 3, the last 3, and then Malchios, Zichronos, and Shofaros. So connected me. Amar Yitzchak Demin Kartiganin, okay? Connected Tisha Azkar Sha'amar Chana B'Sfilasa. Connected the 9 mentionings of God's name that Chana said in her prayer after she had a child. Damar Mar, Rosh Hashanah Nifkida Sarah Rachel v'Chana. That on Rosh Hashanah, Sarah, Rachel, and Chana, 3 women who had took them a very long time to have children, they were remembered by God to have children on Rosh Hashanah. Okay. Hane Esim v'Arba de Ta'anisa keneged me. The 24 brachos that you say on a tainus, on a public fast day. If there was no rain and they would declare a public fast day, and they would have 24 brachos in the Shmon Esrei. What are those keneged? So Amar B'chelbo keneged Chaf Daled Renanos she'Amar Shlomo b'Shah she'echnes Aaron leveis Kodshei HaKodashim. Keneged the 24, I guess, forms of rejoicing that Shlomo said when he brought the ark, the Aaron, into the Holy of Holies. So why don't we just say these 24 things every day? It sounds like a great thing to say. Okay? So we say, well, when did Shlomo say those 24 Rinanot? On a day of mercy, on a day when he was in need of mercy, when he got to the Beis HaMikdash to inaugurate it, and the gates of the Beis HaMikdash wouldn't open, he couldn't bring in the Aaron, the Aaron. So he needed to pray with those 24 Rinanot, so we also reserve those for days that we really need mercy. Rabbi Yoshua Omer Me'ein Shmona Esrei. Rabbi Yoshua says that he says a Me'ein Shmona Esrei. What's this Me'ein Shmona Esrei? So Me'ein Shmona Esrei, Rav Omer Me'ein Kol Bracho Bracho, Shmuel Omer colon. So Rav says it's basically an abridged version of every single bracha. So it's still 18 brachos, or 19 really, right? It's still a regular Shmona Esrei. You say 18 or really 19 brachos, right? Shmuel Amar, where Shmuel says no. You say the first 3 brachos, you say the last 3 brachos, but the middle you basically combine all the what's 19 minus 6? Can anybody tell me? I'm pretty sure it's 13. So you basically merge all the 13 middle brachos into one middle bracha. And you says, Havinenu Hashem Elokeinu, L'das Drachecha, make us understand to know your ways, Umolas Levavenu Lirasecha, and circumcise our hearts that we should fear you, V'tislach lanu lios geulim, and atone us and forgive us that we should be redeemed, V'rachakenu machovenu, and distance us from our ailments, V'dashnenu ben os artzecha, and give us, the fats of the fields of your lands, Unfutzosenu me'arba tekabetz, and all of our people who are scattered, gather them in from the 4 corners of the world. V'atoim al daitcha yishafetu, and those who are straying from on your knowledge, they shall be judged. V'ala rishayim tanif yadecha, and on the evildoers you shall wave your hand. V'yismchu tzadikim b'vinyan yirecha u'v'sikun echalecha, and the tzadikim shall be happy in the rebuilding of your city and the establishment of your sanctuary, u'v'tzmichas keren l'david avdecha, and in the sprouting of the radiance of David your servant, v'arichas ner levanisha mishichecha, and organizing the candle of David HaMelech, your anointed one, terem nikra ata saine, before we call out, you already answer, Baruch ata Hashem shmei tefillah, that is the bracha. And if you guys are looking for something really fun to do, go through the bracha and see how they match up to the Shmona Esrei, and you will find that it matches up. Light Allah Abaye amad matzle havinenu. Boom. Abaye, however, would curse anybody who would say havinenu. He was not into havinenu. He was into Shmona Esrei. Okay. Amar Nachman Amar Shmuel. Kol hashana kulam mispal adam havinenu chutz mimotzai Shabbos mimotzai Yom Tovim. So Rav Nachman says in the name of Shmuel that all year long you can say Avinenu. Nothing wrong with that. Except Motzei Shabbos and Motzei Yom Tovim, you can't say Avinenu for a technical reason. Because you have to say Atachon Antanu. And for some reason, even though they managed to merge 13 brachas into Havinenu, they couldn't figure out how to get Atachonantanu Darton. So therefore, on Motzei Shabbos, Motzei Yom Tovim, you have to say the full Shemona Esrei. Sorry. Maskef LaRabba Bar Shmuel, V'nei bracha revias b'fnei atzma. So Rabbi Bar Shmuel says, well, why don't you just make it a separate bracha? So Kilu, you say the first 3 brachos, you say Avinenu, you say a second bracha, a separate bracha for Atachonantanu, and then say the last 3. So instead of being 7 brachos, it'll be 8 brachas. Milot Tanan, Rabbi Kiva Omer bracha revias b'fnei atzma, because after all, we learn it in a Mishnah. This Mishnah is coming up on Daf Lamed Gimel Amud Aleph, that you say it as a separate bracha. So why not just rely on Rabbi Kiva and say it as a separate bracha, and then you could still say Avinenu. Rabbi Eliezer Omer Ba'odar. Rabbi Eliezer says you say it in Hodah. Okay, so you could say it there also, I guess. So the Gemara says, well, no, we're not just going to do it like Rabbi Akiva and make it a separate bracha. Do we ever, the entire year, make it a separate bracha? Meaning, if you're davening Shemona Esrei, you include Havdalah and Chonin Das. We don't say it as a separate bracha. We don't hold like Rabbi Akiva. Kol Shana Kula, my time lo avdinu Rabbi Akiva, tam nisvei takun, tishrei lo takun. The entire year we don't do like Rabbi Akiva because the Chacham established 18 brachos in the Shemona Esrei. They didn't establish 19 brachos. Or in our reality, they established 19, they didn't establish 20. So Achanami Sheva takun, tamne lo takun. Here also, they established to say 8 brachos when 7 brachos when you're doing Havinenu, and not 8. So therefore, we're not into the suggestion to do it as a separate bracha, and therefore you have to say the whole Shemona Esrei so you can include Atachonantanu in Chonin Das. Maskef la Marzutra v'nichlcha michlal havinenu Hashem Elokeinu ma'avdim kodesh l'chol. So Marzutra says, well, why don't you just include it in Havinenu? Like, we managed to merge 13 brachos into one bracha. Like, you can also add a few words for Atachonantanu and say Havinenu Hashem Elokeinu ma'avdim kodesh l'chol, and then continue. Right? Kasha. Good question. We don't have an answer. And the implication actually being that would work, and you would be able to include those words into Havinenu and have that count as Havdalah. And you could even say Havinenu on Motzei Shabbos. Amar Bevai by Abai. So interesting. Rav Bevai by Abai. So assuming that he is Taka, the son of Abai, well, it's interesting because Abai actually cursed anybody who would say Havinenu, and comes with Bevai by Abai, and he says, Kol Hashana Kulam Mispalo Adam Havinenu. A person can pray Havinenu all year long, chutz mimos hageshamim, with the exception being in the winter time. Because you have to say v'sein talamatu levracha in the bracha of Baruch Aleinu. Maskifla Marzutra, but now Marzutra asks the kasha, v'nichlila michlal v'dashnenu b'nos artzecha v'sein talamatu. So why don't you just include it in Havinenu? That when you're talking about the part that matches up to Baruch Aleinu, just add a shtickle for V'dashnenu b'nos v'sein talamater. So the Gemara says, Asi letrude. No, you can't do that because you'll get confused. Meaning, right? So Ihachi Havdalah b'chonin adas nami Asi letrude. So we say, yeah, but why is it acceptable to add a few words for Havdalah in chonin adas when it's part of Havinenu? Yet we're unwilling to do that for Baruch Aleinu, to add something about v'sein talamater. So the Gemara answers, Amri Asam kevim da'aseh b'tchila slosa lo matrid hacha kevim da'aseh be'emtzid slosa matrid. We say, yeah, but there's a difference. Atachonantanu is coming at the beginning of Havinenu, and at the beginning it's easier to have kavanah to keep in mind, okay, I'm starting Havinenu now. Don't forget Atachonantanu. Those few words about Atachonantanu. But when it's already smack in the middle of the bracha, you're part of your flow. It's too easy to just forget it and miss it. So therefore, during the winter you can't say Havinenu because you have to say v'sein talamater. Maskefla Ravashi asks the kasha v'nei b'shomei tefillah. So why don't you then just include it in the part about Shomei Tefillah, right? The Amar Rabbi Tanchum, Amar Rabbi Asi, Tav v'lo yizkir gvuros k'sham b'schiyas hamesim machzirno. So if you forget to say Mashavruach Moed Geshem in the bracha of Tchias hamesim, so we make him start over from the beginning of Shemona Esrei. She'el b'rechas hashanim ei machzirno. But if he forgets, however, to say v'sein talamater levracha in Baruch Aleinu, we don't make him go back to the beginning because he could just say it in Shemei Tefillah, right? After, say v'sein talamater levracha, and then continue ki'ata Shemei Tefillah kol pe'am chayisrael. So v'avdalah b'chonin adas ein machzir nosim pnei sheyachol omer alakos. And if you forgot to say atachonantanu in chonin adas, so no problem. You could just say it when you'll make havdalah on a glass of wine when you get home. So why? What's the big deal if you miss v'sein talamater in Havinenu, just say it in the part about Shemei Tefillah, because you can always catch it up later. So Ta'ah Shiny. So the way I understand this, meaning if you mamish just made a mistake and you forgot to say V'sein Talam Matal Levracha in Baruch Aleinu, so you can make it up in V'sein Talam in Shemei Tefillah. But I think maybe like in Havinenu, we're basically assuming that you're going to miss it because it's smack in the middle over there, and you're just set up to fail. So we're not going to basically put you in a situation where you're going to have to say V'sein Talam Matar in Shemei Tefillah. So therefore, that's why we say that by Havinenu you shouldn't say it in the winter, because you need to say V'sein Talam Matar Levracha separately. Okay, fine, very nice. Cool. I feel like there was something that I was thinking to say, but I can't remember what it is. Okay, so then I won't say it, but I remembered. Rashi says something cool about if you miss saying Mashiv Ruach Moed Geshem, you can't say it in Shemei Tefillah. He says because in the Rashi of Gvuros Geshamim Hazkar Ba'almahi, because we just right Mashiv Ruach Moed Geshem is mentioning Mazkirin Gvuros Geshamim. It's only mentioning it. You're not actually praying for rain there. You pray for rain in Baruch Aleinu. Right, lefichach machzirin. Also, therefore, we make him go back to the beginning. She'ena tefillah she'ichola la'omer b'shmei tefillah. It's not a prayer. Meaning, v'sein ta'al matal levracha is a prayer. So if you forgot to say it in Baruch Aleinu, so you could always say it in Shemei Tefillah. Right, he who listens to prayers, you can say v'sein ta'al matal levracha over here. But this isn't a prayer. This is just mentioning that one of the great things that God does is He brings rain. So therefore, if you forget it, you have to start over because there's nowhere else to make it up. Okay, weiter. Gufa. We said earlier. So remember, gufa is one of those words that goes back on something we had said earlier, and it's when it's referring to something that Amoraim said. So we said earlier, Amar Bitanchum, Amar Asi, Tov lo izka gvros kasham b'tchias hamesim machzirin. So if you forgot to say Mashiv Ruach Moed Geshem, we make him start over. She'el birkas hashanim ein machzirin also mipnei she'achol la'omer b'shmei tefillah. If you forget to say v'sein ta'al matal levracha in Baruch Aleinu, that's no problem. No problem. You don't have to start over because you could just say it again later in Shemei Tefillah. And if you forget to say Atachanantanu in Chonin Adas, no problem. You're going to say Avdallah on a glass of wine later, anyways. Meisvei, we have a kasha on that premise, namely on the premise that you don't have to repeat Shmona Esrei if you forget V'sein Ta'al Matal Levracha. Right? If, as we said, he forgets Mashiv Ruach Moed Geshem, he's got to start from the beginning. Also. And if he forgets to say V'sein Ta'al Matal Levracha in Baruch Aleinu, we do make him start over. So we said before he doesn't have to start over because he can make it up in Birkas Hashanah in Shemei Tefillah. But now we're saying that he has to start over. And then just to finish up the brayso of Havdalah b'Chonin Adas im machzirin also mipnei she'achol la'omer alakos. If he forgets to say Havdalah in Chonin Adas, so he doesn't go over because he could just say it on his glass of wine when he gets home. Lo kasha habiyachad habetzibur. Oh, so he said it depends. If you're davening Shmona Esrei by yourself and you forget to say V'sein Ta'al Matal Levracha, so then you have to start over. But if you're davening with a tzibur and you forget to say V'sein Ta'al Matal Levracha, then you do not need to start over. B'tzibur my time low. How come when you're b'tzibur you don't have to start over if you forget V'sein Ta'al Matal Levracha? Mishum d'shama mishliach tzibur. It's because you're going to hear it from the shliach tzibur, right? Meaning, so you forgot to say V'sein Ta'al Matal Levracha, okay, but you can hear Chazar et Hashatz, and over there the shliach tzibur is going to say V'sein Ta'al Matal Levracha, so it's cool. I'll have you in mind. Ihachi, if so, hay mipnei she'achol la'omer b'shomea tefillah mipnei she'shomea mishliach tzibur mibaylei. But one second, that first brayso had said that it had given a reason for why you don't have to start from the beginning if you forget V'sein Ta'al Matal Levracha, and that reason was because you could say it later on in Shemei Tefillah. But we're saying that the reason is because you can hear it from the Shliach Tzibur. So that doesn't go well with what the reason that the brayso gives. So no. So rather, both of them are talking about when you're davening alone. If you're davening alone, even by yourself, and you forget V'sein Ta'al Matal Levracha, you don't, So let's see. Lokasha de adka kodem Shemei Tefillah. So the point is, if you forget to say V'sein Ta'al Matal Levracha and you remember before Shomei Tefillah, so then just say it in Shomei Tefillah. But if you didn't remember before Shomei Tefillah, well, then you have to start over. Okay. Amar b'Tanchum, Amar b'As, Amar b'Asi, Amar b'Yeshua ben Levi. Ta v'lo izkir shalosh chodesh ba'avoda chozer la'avoda. So if you forgot to say Ya'aleh v'Yavo on Rosh Chodesh, so you have to go back to Ritzei. Nizgar ba'odah chozer la'avoda. if he remembers in the middle of Modim that he forgot to say Yalav Yavo, so he goes back to Ritzei. B'Sim Shalom Chozel Avoda. If he remembers in Sim Shalom that he forgot to say Yalav Yavo, he goes back to Ritzei. Same thing. V'Im Siyem Chozel Rosh. But if he finished his Shmona Esrei already, so then he has to repeat the entire Shmona Esrei. Amar Rav Papa. So Rav Papa said, Amar Papa Breder Rav Acha Bar Ada. Hoda Amaron Siyem Chozel Rosh. That when we say that if he finished the Shmona Esrei, he's got to start over. La Amaron Ella She'akar Raglav. That's only talking about where he finished the Shmona Esrei and he then moved his feet. Avalo Akar Raglav Chozel Avoda. But as long as he didn't move his feet, so then he can go back to Ritzei. Amrulei Minalach. They said to him, Minalacha, how do you know this? Amrulei Me'abamari Shmieli. I heard it from my father. V'abamari me Rav, and my father heard it from Rav. Amar Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak, said Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak, Hoda Amar and Akar Raglav Chozer L'Rosh. That which we said that if he moved his feet, he's got to start all over again. La'amaran ela she'enu rogel lomar tachnunim achar tfilaso. Okay, so that is assuming that, meaning we're assuming that Shmona Esrei is done with the final bracha of Hamavar Chasam Yisrael B'Shalom, and we're saying that if he didn't move his feet, so then he can go back to Ritzei. Okay. But if he normally were to say tachnunim, and Rashi says kigon elokai netzor l'shoni meira, right? For example, elokai netzor l'shoni meira, which is what we say after Mevarech Chasam Yisrael B'Shalom. Meaning, the point is that Shmona Esrei is done after Mevarech Chasam Yisrael B'Shalom, and then you have this, section afterwards which is reserved for all sorts of tachnunim. So we say elokai netzor l'shoni meira, but it could really be anything, and that's really the time when you could pray whatever you want to pray. Okay, so but he says right, So el she'eno ragel lomar tachnunim achar tfilaso, aval ragel lomar tachnunim achar tfilaso chozer la'avoda. Interesting. Meaning, but if he normally says tachanunim after his prayer, then he goes back to Ritzei, which is interesting, right? Because meaning. What? So if he normally says tachanunim, then even if he does move his legs, he goes back to Ritzei? I don't know, it's interesting. I don't know, yeah, I don't know, if you moved your legs, alright, and then what if he says tachanunim, and then afterwards he moved his legs, then he still would be able to go back to Ritzei? Like, if you say tachanunim, then you just never have to repeat the entire Shmona Esrei, you just go back to Ritzei? Or maybe the way that they would do it was different. I don't know. Maybe like after Mevarech Chasam Yisrael B'Shalom, then they would move their legs already and then say the tachnunim. And since they would say tachnunim, they're still not done, so they could still go back to Ritzei. Maybe, I don't know. But there's another way to look at it. Yikad Amir, those who say Amar Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak, said Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak, Hada Amaran ki lo akar raglav chozer la'avodim. When we say that you have not yet, it's coming from the opposite perspective. When we say that when you have not yet moved your legs, you can go back to avoda. La'amaran ela shiragel lomar tachnunim achar tfilaso. That is as long as you normally say tachanunim after your prayer. Meaning, so if you finish, you say Baruch Atah Hashem, Hamavar Chasam Yisrael B'Shalom, and you have not yet moved your legs. So we say you're allowed to go back to Ritzei still. Why? Because you're not yet done with your Shmona Esrei, because you're still going to say tachanunim, right? But if he normally just finishes his Shmona Esrei after Baruch Atah Hashem, Hamavar Chasam Yisrael B'Shalom, and even if he hasn't moved his legs, well, he's done with his prayer, so he has to go back to the beginning. So I guess that also means, maybe, that for us who we generally, I assume most people say Elokai Netzor at the end, so maybe once you say so even though you haven't moved your feet, you're done, I guess. So maybe then you would go back even though you haven't moved your feet. I'm not exactly sure, honestly. Okay, weiter. Rabbi Eliezer Omer, Osa Tfilaso Keva v'chulei. Somebody who makes his prayers Keva. So we said Ein Tfilaso Tachnunim. So we're going to try to define now what Keva means. So my Keva, what's Keva? Amar B'Yakov Bar Idi, Amar B'Yoshaya, Kol Tfilaso Doma Olav Kemasui. Anybody whose prayer it seems like a burden, right? It's like Keva, it's something kavua, something that he needs to do every single day. So he does it because he has to, but there's nothing special about it. So then his prayer isn't tachanunim, right? Again, if we put it back into this kind of theme that in my head has been developing, right, between tfilos avos tiknum versus tfilos keneged midin tiknum, right? Or tfilos rachame versus a chiyuv that you have to do. So is tfilos ain't tfilos tachanunim. right? Is prayer, maybe is Yotze, maybe is Yotze the Tfilos Keneged Tmidin Tiknum. Is Yotze sort of, he said the words on time, but it's not Yotze sort of the Tachanunim, the mercy aspect of what Tfilah is. Okay? Rabbanan Amri, the Rabbanan say, Kol Mishe'enu Omra B'Lashon Tachanunim. Somebody who doesn't say it in a way of Tachanunim. Right? Okay, he's just kind of saying the words. Rav Yosef Damar Tavayu, both Rav and Rav Yosef say, Kol Shen Yochel Chadish B'Davar. If there's nothing new in your prayer, right? You just, again, saying the words, same thing every day, same words, different day. Amar B'Zera, Ani Echinu L'Chadushi B'Milsa, Mistafina Duma Matridna. So B'Zera says something funny, which is that, he says, look, I'm able to add new things to my prayers, but I'm actually nervous that if I add new things, I'll forget where I was before. Abai bar Oven, Rav Chanina bar Oven, Damar Tavayu, Kol she'em mispal im dimdumei chama. Oh, which is interesting. Anybody who doesn't pray with the sun rays, right? So, meaning, they say that you should be praying Shacharis with sunrise and Mincha with sunset. Meaning, you should wait to daven Mincha until sunset. An interesting thing about that is that I guess it, by definition, makes your prayer dynamic because the time of sunrise and sunset changes every single day. So it's not just like, I go to the same minyan, same time, every day, same words, nothing different at all. It's actually, even if just the time, by definition, makes it dynamic. It's a mitzvah to daven with the rays of sun. However, V'amar Abzera, and says Abzera Maikra'ah, Yeruchim Shemesh V'fnei Yareach Dor Dorim. Where do we have a pasuk to show that it's taka a good thing to daven with the rays of the sun? As it says, they will fear you with the sun and before the moon for all generations. However, in Eretz Yisrael, they would curse anybody who would daven with the sun rays. Now, it's not talking about nates, because that was like the vasikin, right? That was very good. Why not? Daven at the earliest possible time. It's mincha. If you wait until the latest possible time to daven mincha, you might end up missing it. So Rabbi Yeshua says that anybody who's walking in a dangerous place, so he prays Tefillah Kitzar. And we're going to talk about what Tefillah Kitzar is. And we also mentioned it there b'chol Parshas HaIbor. So we want to know what this Parshas HaIbor thing is. My Parshas HaIbor, says the Gemara, Amar Rav Chizda, Amar Mar Ukva, Afilu b'shah she'atem mismalei aleim evra ki isha ubra, yu kol tzarkeim lefanecha. Even God, when you are filled upon them with anger like a pregnant woman, all their needs shall be before you. Okay? Igida Amr, that those say Amar of Chizda, Amar Mar Ukva, Afilu b'shashem overmal divrei Torah, yu kol tzarkeim lefanecha. Even at a time that they are violating words of Torah, all their needs shall be in front of you. Okay? Somebody who's walking in a place where there are groups of wild, rabid animals and bandits. Mispal Tefillah K'tzar, he prays a small, short little Tefillah. Ve'ezu Tefillah K'tzar, what's Tefillah K'tzar? Rabbi Eliezer Omer says, Rabbi Eliezer, Aseh Ritzoncha B'Shamayim Mimal, do your will in the heavens above, V'sei Nachas Ruach Li'yirecha Mitachas, and give, Nachas Ruach, enjoyment, relaxation, pleasantness to those who fear you below. V'atov b'nech Aseh, and do what's good in your eyes. Baruch Atah Hashem Shmei Tefillah. Blessed are you Hashem, who listens to prayers. Rabbi Yeshua Omer, says Rabbi Yeshua, Shma Shavas Amcha Yisrael, listen out to the cries of your nation Israel, V'aseh mehera b'kashasam, and quickly do whatever they want. Funny little prayer. Baruch Atah Hashem Shmei Tefillah. Like, listen to us, do what we want, quick. Rabbi Elazar, which is interesting because in the Mishnah, Rabbi Yeshua had given a different version, right? He said, Hoshas Hashem es amcha she'eretz Yisrael v'chol parshas ha'ibur yitzorchem mifanecha. Whereas over here he's saying, right, Shma Shavas Amcha Yisrael V'aseh Meir B'Kashasam. A little different. Rabbi Elazar Bar Tzadok Omer, Shma Tzaikas Amcha Yisrael V'aseh Meir B'Kashasam. Listen to the, different kinds of cries of your nation Israel and quickly do whatever they want, whatever they request. Baruch Atah Hashem Shmei Tefillah. Did Rashi say anything about, Shavas is Lashon Genicha Yoser Mitfila? I probably changed it to Tzaika. No, I don't know. Okay, say it. I guess a Shava'ah is more of a cry, but which is more of a cry, a Shava'ah or a Tza'aka? I'm not sure. Weiter. Acherim omrim tzarke amcha yisom Ruben v'daitem k'tzara Acherim say that the needs of your nation Israel are very many. I think plethora is a word that would be relevant here, I guess. I think. Am I right? I don't know. V'dartim k'tzara, and their knowledge is limited. Yiratzim l'fanecha Hashem Elokeinu, may it be the will before you, Hashem our God, shetitin l'chol echad ve'echad kadei parnasaso, that you should give every single person what he needs to make a livelihood. V'chol gvio gvia de machsora, and every body that which it is lacking, which is interesting because there's a Tosfos in, I think, the 6th parak by Borei Nefashos Rabbos V'chesronan. He says, God who creates people and all the things that they have, but also all the things that they lack, i.e. food. And over here we're comparing in the same breath as we say parnasa, we're saying de machzora, which might be a reference to food. Baruch atah Hashem shmei tefillah. Blessed are you Hashem, who listens to prayers. Amravuna halacha kacherim. Says Ravuna, the halacha is taka like acherim, that the last version is what tefillah katzar is. Amrle Eliyahu Rav Yehuda achva Rav Saleh Chasida. So Eliyahu said to Rav Yehuda achva Rav Saleh Chasida, lo sirtach v'lo sechte. Don't get angry and you won't sin. Lo sarve v'lo sechte. Don't get drunk and you won't sin. And when you go out to travel, consult with your owner and go out. What does it mean consult with your owner and go out? So Amar Yaakov, Amar Chisda, Zo, Tfilas Haderech. This is Tfilas Haderech, which many people here may have heard of. Amar Yaakov, Amar Chisda, Kol Yotze Laderech, Tzarech L'Spal Tfilas Haderech. Anybody goes out to travel needs to pray Tfilas Haderech, my Tfilas Haderech, Yotzim Ufanecha Hashem Elokai, Shetolicheni L'Shalom, may it be the will before you, Hashem my God, that you shall, walk us in peace, V'tatzideni L'Shalom, you shall walk us in peace, I think, V'tismecheni L'Shalom, or not us, it's me, and you should, I guess, lean me in peace, V'tatzideni Mekav Kol Oyev V'Orev B'Derech, and you should save me from the hands of all enemies and ambushes on the way, and you shall send blessing in the doings of my hands. And you shall place me in favor, kindness, and mercy in your eyes, and in the eyes of all those who see me. Blessed are you, God, who listens to prayers. Abai says a person should always say it in the plural and connect himself to the rest of the tzibur, and not just say I. So how should he say it? Just make it plural so that you're connecting with everybody else. At what point in your travels do you say Tfilas Haderech? Amar Rabbi Yaakov, Amar Rav Chisda, Mishash Malach Baderech. When you leave, you should say Tfilas Haderech ad kama. And until when should you say Tfilas Haderech? Amar Rabbi Yaakov, Amar Rav Chisda ad parsa. Until taka a parsa. Parsa we said was about 2 miles or so. Okay, and but I assume after 2 miles we could still say it, right? Don't we do that? I don't know. Vechi matzle la. And how do you say Tfilas Haderech? Rav Chisda Amar Me'umad, Rav Sheshes Amar Afilu Mahalech. So Rav Chisda said you should say Tfilas Haderech standing, which is interesting because you're traveling, right? So I guess you stop, you stand up, and you say it. Rav Sheshes said even when you're on the move, you could say Tfilas Haderech. Rav Chisda Rav Sheshes Abu Kaz Leborcha. Now Rav Chisda and Rav Sheshes were both traveling together, right? Now Rav Sheshes is blind, right? So now come Rav Chisda v'kam. So come Rav Chisda v'kamatzle. So Rav Chisda stopped. He stood up and he said Tfilas Haderech. Amalei Rav Sheshes the Shamis. Rav Sheshes said to his attendant, "My kavod Rav Chisda. What's Rav Chisda doing?" Right? He was blind. He couldn't see. So he asked his attendant, "What's Rav Chisda doing?" Amalei kai umatzle. He says, "Oh, he's getting up and he's saying, he's davening. He's saying Tfilas Haderech." Amalei ukma nami ledidi. Ve'atzle. So Rav Sheshes asked his attendant, also get me up, let me stand up and pray. Miostov atikrara. From something good, there's no reason to make something bad out of it, right? Meaning I'm not going to be, if I could stop and I could, say Tfilas Haderech standing, there's no reason why I should be a stickler and say it sitting. Okay, very good. And I guess it's not like, Kriya Shema with Rabbi Beis Hillel and Beis Shammai where we passing like Beis Hillel and Rabbi Tarfon endangered himself by doing Beis Shammai. No, this is something that's more, I guess, not as established as we have to do like Rav Chisda or like Rav Sheshes, So he said, look, you may as well do like Rav Chisda and stand, why not? Okay, let's go shtickle weiter. My ika ben Avinenu le Tfilat Katzar. What's a nafkamina between Havinenu and Tfilat Katzar, right? So Havinenu, bay le tzaluye gimel kamaisa v'gimel basraisa, v'chimati leveisi lo bay le mahadi le tzaluye, right? So Havinenu, you say the first 3 brachos of Shemona Esrei, the last 3 brachos of Shemona Esrei, and then the bracha of Havinenu in the middle. And when you get back home, zeu, you daven. You don't need to make it up, right? B'tfila Katsara, however, lo bay letzalui, lo gimel kamaisev, lo gimel basraisev, v'chimati leveisei bay lemahadi letzaluye. Oh, but Tefillah Katsara, however, the whole point is that it's super short and precise. So there's no 3 brachos at the beginning, there's no 3 brachos afterwards, and when you get back to your house, you actually then have to daven again. Now the interesting thing is, what do you mean you have to daven again? Like, I thought the only reason why you daven Tefillah Katsara is because you were running out of time to daven, and you wanted to make sure that you daven. Like, there was no time to wait to get home. That's why you said this Tefillah Katsara while you were traveling and not really able to daven. So it could be that the point is that when you get home, you have to, make it up. So if it was mincha time and you were running out of time and you were traveling, you couldn't stop, so you say Tefillah Katsara. When you get home, though, you still have to, let's say 2 Shemona Esreis from Ma'ariv. I don't know, maybe that's how I'm understanding it as a possible a way to understand it. Now, Havinenu mu'umad, Tefillah Katsara bein mu'umad bein mahalech, Havinenu, you must do standing, whereas Tefillah Katsara, you could do standing, sitting, however which way you prefer. That's it, friends. That is it. Thanks for coming along. Thanks for joining me. I had a great time. And we learned some cool stuff. Tefillah Saderech, other stuff. Enjoy. Peace out.